This is a response to, have you ever felt that you have been reincarnated? Not until my son told me I was. He was 2 years old and bundled up in his car seat on a long ride late at night when suddenly his head pops. Mom, you're afraid of bridges, aren't you? I'm terrified of them. I hate driving them, especially late at night. I don't tell him that. Instead, I say, a little bit, honey. Do you know why? He asks. At this point, my hair is starting to stand on end because sometimes the child says weird things. Not really, no, I respond. He sighed. When I was big and you were little, a car got crashed up on the bridge. Everything was turned upside down. Glass got broken and you were blooding. Then his voice got very, very quiet. I couldn't save you. I was so sad. My heart stopped. His father and I looked at each other, then looked back at our son, only to find him leaned back in his car seat, sleeping peacefully once again. Gabrielle Yoder. My oldest son had nightmares from infancy, but he suddenly became afraid of the bathtub around his 4th birthday. He would cry every time he went near it. He also kept looking around asking where his black shoes were. I said he didn't have any, but he insisted that he had his black shoes with silver buckles. This was weird, but I brushed it off until I finally asked him why he was scared of the tub. He told me that he was afraid he would drown again. My husband laughed, but I smacked him and asked my son, when did this happen? He said, 1592. The blood drained from my husband's face, and then I asked my son, where was this? Joshua said, in the lake in England, behind the big house. I left my black shoes there, and then I drowned. It was cold. I took a deep breath and told him that he wasn't going to drown in the bathtub, and the lake was a long time ago. He was safe and warm now, and he didn't need to worry about that anymore. He said okay, and I hugged him before putting him into the tub. He forgot about his shoes in the lake completely within 2 days. How did he even know a specific date or country at that age? My oldest daughter had a hair-raising tale she told me when she was 4. She told me that she had brothers who were stabbed in the middle of the night by a robber, and she lived in Georgia. The fact that she had tears in her eyes and was just staring off into space while she told me all this compels me to believe that she wasn't just making things up. She also said that she had a baby but it died because she couldn't feed it. Then she said that she had 2 boyfriends who killed her cat and then put her in a tiny outfit and did things to her. She started describing very accurately, I think, what sounded like a violent sexual assault with the words she had available. At one point, she was confused about what was present and what was past. She kept asking to go back to the farmhouse where it had more room, and that we could come along too if we liked. My youngest daughter spoke with some small degree of medical knowledge when she was very young. She even came up to my husband when he was laying on the floor and tried to give him CPR. Not mouth-to-mouth like the movies, but chest compressions. And she even felt for a pulse in his neck and wrist. At one point, she kept telling me that she was a man, not a boy, and she wanted to go home to her family. She kept insisting that she was a man until I finally took her aside and said that she may have been a man, but she was a girl now. She blinked and said, okay, and the obsession with medical things died away as well as the feeling that she was a man. My youngest son is 3, and he has an obsession with soldiers. He saw a book with a picture of the Confederate soldier painted on the front and started screaming, "Me, me, me." We haven't heard anything from him yet, but I'm sure he too will tell us something. There are a lot of other things with our family as well. My great-great-grandfather was a faith healer in old Florida. He put his hands on people to heal them. I used to do that too, when I was younger. We sometimes dream of future events to the point where it's sort of commonplace. I don't as much anymore, and it's almost always small dreams. We'll dream that we're sitting in a cafe talking to someone and seeing a TV show on in the background, for example. When it actually happens, I get this feeling like there's cotton in my ears, or like someone turned a television on in another room. It may surprise some, but these experiences have made me believe even more firmly in God, Jesus, and Christianity, even if my beliefs as a Christian are different than the standard. I try not to make too big of a deal about this stuff, precognition, reincarnation, etc., with our children, but when they're older, I explain a bit about how our family is and the gifts we've been given. I also try not to lead them or let them fall into obsessing over the other world. I'm a rational, logical person who prefers to live in this world than to wander around in the clouds. But then, there's this whole world around us that most people never even acknowledge. I'm hoping that my children can find a good balance between rationality and open-mind spirit.